I don't particularly use electronic scales. It's only because I'm vintage and I learned vintage. I call it the old ways. I love to measure powder on a balance beam. It's just the way I've always done it. I know when that thing is zeroed out and it's on zero, I've got exactly the load I want. I don't have to trust digital scales, so I prefer not to. And that's my call. And also, it's cheaper. I mean, this is a really cheap set. What I use these for is when I'm banging out pistol rounds. I don't feel I have to be as accurate on the powder. So about every 20 rounds, I will weigh up a case and everything just to make sure my powder charges are doing what I want. Good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from the Rustic log cabin in Northern Maine. Welcome to my reloading room today. Today we're going to be talking about, it's the last day of deer season. Oh, let's say deer season ended last Saturday. And today is the week after deer season. It's a week already gone by. Well, that's the time that I come up here and I go through all of my rifles, all of my shotguns, and I go through my handguns, all of that. And it's kind of like, you know, when twice a year we have to set the clocks. Well, you know, they have a specific date when they set the clocks back an hour, and then a specific date when we turn them forward an hour. Well, that's what I do the week after deer season. So I figured that would make a pretty good topic today. Some of the stuff I use for cleaning my rifles and guns would be exactly the stuff that you guys have. I think I grabbed everything. But you got a couple other things, I just don't have it up here. But we'll talk about them and you'll know exactly what they are. But anyways, and I've done videos in the past about opening day. Let's have a sip of coffee. I'm ready for one. I've done videos in the past about the day before deer season. You know, the biggest mistake that people make the day before deer season is they clean their deer hunting rifle. I don't. Well, I'll get into that just for a second. I don't clean my rifle leading up to hunting season. Why? Why do I not clean my gun? Because it's been set. I mean, I wipe them down throughout the year, but as far as it's good to go. It does not need to be polished up, shined up, and re-oiled and all of that, getting ready for deer season. The reason I don't do that is because I don't want my deer rifle smelling like all them chemicals that you know, you're going to wipe the thing down. It's going to stink. It's just one more odor that you're lugging with you out into the woods for deer hunting. So I just don't do that. So what do? At the end of the season, that gun's going to live. It's not going, I mean, unless you fall down in the mud or something like that while you're deer hunting. That would be the only reason that I would have to wipe down a gun during deer season. Got to get me a cough drop. When I was a kid, I fell into a mud hole and drove my gun right up to the trigger. Straight down in one of them spruce bog holes. So that's what I mean by you got to clean the thing out. Now, what do I use? Well, I'm going to start out. I don't want to lose you guys. Now, I don't want to lose you guys, so I'll start out with the same thing that everybody has. But here's the other thought process. Here's my other thought process in all of this. As you guys know, everything that I do in this channel is self-reliant. Self-reliant, self-reliant, self-reliant. What's my plan B? If I can't get this kind of bullet, what am I going to do? If I can't get this kind of powder, what am I going to do? If I can't get, you know, whatever, I like to say that I have a plan B to what I can do. Well, it's no different up here in the reloading room when it comes to cleaning my firearms. Everything, you know, right now, especially in the country, as crazy as it is, everything should be thought about as what's my plan B. You know, now, here's hops number 9, and hops number 9 oil, all this stuff. This is stuff I've been using. I'm sure that you guys are going to know a lot more about these products than I do. And I'm going to tell you why. This is spray for my black powders. The reason why is because, why? I don't follow that stuff. It's a product. It's a product line. It's a product being pushed by big business. It's a product that's on the shelf that if there's a supply and, you know, if we run out, what are you going to do? Or, you know, just supply and demand, all of that. What are you going to do? And as crazy it is right now, you don't know. You know, so same thing with these hops pads. Now, when I started buying these years ago, they were pretty cheap. And they're what, are they over $5 a piece now? Something like that. And even if I keep them, these are what, the silicone rags? Even if I keep this silicone rag in that bag, it'll still dry out. Within a year, I'm going to need another one of these. It's dry as a bone. So, to me, that's just taking $5 and throwing it out. Even if you get a year out of it. It's a piece of cloth. I should be able to get 20 years out of it. So I do. Now, you don't got to leave right now and don't think I'm a wacko. I will explain. This is just a quart of motor oil. Now, this happens to be OFF 20, whatever that means. But anyway, it's a full synthetic oil. Doesn't have to be that kind of oil. It can be anything. Then I take, this is just a pickle jar. I mean, this would be, let's see, this would be for salsa. It's a salsa jar, don't matter. If you got a jar, it doesn't matter. But in here, you'll see there's 2 rags in here. And they're not sopping with oil. But what I do is I take about a ½ inch of that oil, I put it in this jug, and then I put my gun rags in there, and they will suck up all of that oil just like they're a sponge. That's the oil that I wipe down my rifles with. This now is more money, but when I got it, it's probably was what, $3 a quart, something like that. Now, I have no idea how much this was probably $3 with this little tiny bit of oil that, you know, do the math. This is a self-reliant channel with all kinds of ways to save money and keep the cost down and still do a good job. And then, like I said, you got your rag left over for many years, and I have had no problems at all whatsoever in wiping all of my rifles down with motor oil. Why did I think that was a good idea to begin with? Because that's what they used to do. In World War II, they would yank out the dipstick on a Jeep or whatever, wipe the oil off it, and sometimes that was their oil for wiping down their rifle. So, and the same thing probably in every war gone by. So, you know, oil is oil is oil. This might be a finer grade oil. I couldn't tell you. I mean, to me, it's no different than sewing machine oil, 3-in-1. So, and like I said, I've had absolutely no problems with this. I think that if things got tight, it's good to know that other things work to clean your guns. I use, now you got to finish, and you got your stock finish. Like I said, these guns have been wiped down with motor oil since I brought them home, 25 or 30 years. there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They look like brand new. It's just a good, to me, it's probably the better oil. It's not probably sewing machine oil. And especially this synthetic oil. Now I don't know, you know, like I said, 20 years. Now I don't believe we had synthetic oil back then, but you know, a quad up here lasts me a heck of a long time. So anyways, that's my reasoning behind that. Some of the other products that I use, you would get right at Napper. I have no problems at all spraying a gun down with WD-40. I have no problems. There's another one out there, penetrating oil. I have no problem taking the actions apart, spraying the actions with penetrating oil. Now they don't say hops on them, but when you buy a big can of penetrating oil and you use it in your gun room, it's going to last you a heck of a long time, and it's readily available. Again, with guns and gun parts, who knows what they're going to make illegal in the future. So now I can't take these guns apart and show you how to clean them the way I do, because that is one of the things that YouTube, I guess, really frowns on. So I'm trying to keep this thing alive and trying to keep covering topics on the soft field so that we don't have any issues. But if you clean your guns and you want a different way, or you want a plan B, or you want to do it cheaper, this stuff is in my reloading room. So we'll have one last sip of coffee, and I will see you next week.